Helen, how many people do we have on our YouTube channel?
Let's see. So far, 4 people on
4
YouTube.
people. Okay. Do you think we should start or we should wait one more minute?
Oh, sure. We can start.
Okay, so let's slowly start and I would just... Okay. All right, so we can officially start. So hello, everyone. Welcome to the next meetup organized jointly by quantum computing groups from Washington, D.C., Toronto, and Warsaw. My name is Pawel. I'm the CEO of the Quantum AI Foundation and the coordinator of QPoland and the board of QWorld. And together with Dr. Sebastian Zając, will be the moderators today for our great speaker, Dr. Liwen Shih, will tell us about QA HPC on the quest of quantum AI optimized HPC. Before we start, just a few announcements. So first of all, as you can see, this meeting is recorded and there's live streaming on YouTube as well. So hopefully the video will be later available on our YouTube channel. We have also agreed with our speaker, with Dr. Shih, that we can have this lecture interactive, so that if you have any questions, please raise your hand and we'll try to interrupt and ask a question. You can also post your question on the chat, and when there is a good time, we'll also just try to ask this question. There will be also a Q&A session at the end. Okay, before we start, I would also like to announce our next event. So on 5th of May, Dr. Bruno Araujo will give a talk titled Moving Towards Compactification of the Many-Body Wave Function Using a Bottom-Up Approach. Later in May, Dr. Edo Justo will tell about quantum reliability, circuit susceptibility faults, and integration issues. Then in June, Dr. Siwan Yu will tell about practical quantum computing, addressing crosstalk and circuit optimization. Then, July 22nd, deep learning generalization, novel methods for ensuring AI can be trusted. The speaker is Elliot Miller. And then in July, Zeki Seskir will tell us about educating to the culture of quantum technologies, a survey study on concepts for public awareness. All right, and we'd also like to thank our partners and sponsors for supporting us, helping us in advertising this event. And with that, I would like to invite you to the lecture of Dr. Shih. I hope you will enjoy it. And Dr. Shih, first of all, thank you for accepting our invitation. We are looking forward to your talk. And if you are ready, the Zoom is yours and we can start.
All right, and thank you for inviting me, and thank you for Helen working so hard. Somehow my camera is not showing my face, but don't worry, because I have so many pictures on the slides. Actually, it's like a gallery, actually, not very technical, but it's just showing all the adventure that I went through by participating. And especially today, I am meeting you all, and it's because of quantum interest. So I'm just so happy to be able to do this talk. And I'm not quite familiar with doing online talk. I did a couple of times, but I don't know your reaction. So feel free to use your emotion or reaction button so that I know how I'm doing. Okay. All right. So let's see. Oh, okay. So I guess I have to reshare again. It doesn't seem to be showing. Okay, and I do. All right. So this is the cover slide. Because of quantum, I was invited as a keynote speaker at South Africa last December for their Center of HPC National Conference, and it was in Kruger National Park. So This is the picture I took of the deal. Then the winning team of the cluster competition for the student team, they will be competing at ISC at Germany this summer, and actually in June. And so their winning prize of national winner is to come to Texas. So we're very proud to host them. And so they were having trainings 4 days, okay, at the Texas Advanced Computing Center in Austin. And then they come to visit me for coaching. And I wish them good luck. And also I send them to Texas A&M because they have 6 supercomputing clusters there at Texas A&M University, which is also oldest data center probably in the nation. I think it's like late 50s and 60s, they started the data center. So today, since I am a HPC background and I'm entering quantum optimization, so I'm not exactly quantum computing, I'm doing optimization for the quantum workflow with some unique focus on the topology of the processor network to try to reduce the latency. So I would like to show these pictures because share my experience. I hope you like it, and also kind of recognize all these supercomputer giants that I have the pleasure to meet. At the end of the presentation, I will show some of my friends, the personal friends. They are contributing to the high tech of the world, and I would like to have a tribute to them, and so that show our appreciation. On the left-hand side is the top person in the cyber infrastructure supercomputing person, Happy, in South Africa. So he invited me as the keynote speaker. I was visiting NCAR, which is atmosphere research, and on the right side. So this supercomputing conference is the 35th anniversary this year at Denver, and which coincide with my career started 35 years ago. I just got my 35-year service reward from the university, Clear Lake. On the right-hand side is our Dr. Group, and he is the general chair and the president for IEEE Computer Science. And 10 years ago, we were standing in front of the 2013 conference 10 years ago. And that is, he was the general chair there. So NCAR is very beautiful. I hope you have a chance to visit at the Boulder, Colorado. This building is designed by the architect, Ion Pei. So we're having lunch. A lot of people here at the South Africa front. Then I have privilege to give this similar talk at Japan, at Osaka. I was invited as the keynote for the Global Expert Conference in Robotics and Artificial Intelligence. Then this February, I was invited as a keynote speaker for the UT Dallas. They have a one-day immersion quantum experience. You know, they have all the telecom industry in the city of Richardson. So city of Richardson has a innovation quarter. So I had an interview there. And then we were giving a talk on the quantum research. And this is Miguel, and this is the reporter. And these are all the speakers. And then these are organizer, Rashmi. All right, and then so they wanted me to talk about the quantum research next frontier. So I quoted Tony Hayes and other people's different paradigm shift from experimental, theoretical, computational, data-driven. And then I wonder what's next. So I asked Tony Hayes, which is the Microsoft research director or president. So I guess it's going to be quantum AI because he doesn't know. I guess nobody knows. So this is a paradigm shift that we are going through this different era. So originally we have some kind of a theory from some Newton or Einstein, some expert. And then we didn't have enough data, so we designed some experiments, and then we collect data to verify the model. And then we have computer codes. We can do Monte Carlo and different things to verify the model. Nowadays, we have more data. So several years ago, they say every 4 years, the data double. And so we have more data than hypotheses and theory. So every 1% of visualization that we can do to show the data, a graphic or bar chart or whatever form, then we can improve about 7% of the discovery. So data visualization is a big thing in the data era. Next, we're in the quantum AI. So we're designing artificial intelligence. Then we use the smart AI to design even more smarter AI. And then quantum is the double exponential. So it's really kind of cool. How do we cope with these fast changes? It takes a different mindset. Okay, so here I was trying to do some deep thoughts about the modern research and classical research. So for the quantum computing, it's a little bit of kind of like we are not trying to force it. We're not dictating the outcome. We are more like a leader or coaching. We are trying to be proactive instead of reactive. We try to apply strength instead of keep trying to correct errors in the quantum. So I'm kind of like everybody's focusing on the error, but let's apply strength. So mostly we are doing in my teaching is coaching the project. I don't really teach a lot of curriculum. So in engineering, we try to do sequential circuit, demand-driven instead of combinational circuit and data-driven to be a little bit more efficient. And so our main issues are the health, energy, environment. But as I was visiting NCAR, I saw each research, even though, and also the health, we're trying to do treatment. We're collecting data to do some kind of a diagnosis. And then we discover, oh, we have pollution or we have disease, cancer, whatever. But I would like to encourage all of us to assume that we already have those issues of pollution and disease. And then what we try to do is focus on our attention and resource into creating a more sound and healthy environment and energy sustainability. So here I'm trying to do is trying to make sure that my research can cut down the energy consumption. This is a slide that I usually give to non-quantum people. This is a beautiful mind or the game theory. The movie was showing that this scientist was talking to himself because he was schizophrenic. So he had two imagination friends. Okay. So nowadays I was saying, it was kind of cool movie before, but nowadays it won't work because everybody's talking to yourself, So when I go to work at the morning and I saw these people coming out of the building, they were talking to themselves. I thought they were talking to me. I started to say hi and all that, but so everybody's on their phone talking online to their imagination friends. So that's how we can accept all this kind of weird future technology, and in a few years we just take it for granted. Okay, so I think there will be no problem for us to accept AI and quantum, the new era. So start with quantum to be able to have a little bit of confidence talking about quantum, and I was able to get a quantum class from my colleague, Dr. McDermott. She was from Oxford and Cambridge. And she came to United States just because she married to the father of the chirality. So this is Roger Heckstrom. Okay, so they are working on Nobel Prize. Hopefully they will get the quantum mechanics with handedness. Okay, so this is chirality, quantum mechanic chirality. I'm very lucky to be her student. So, all right. So this is, I was lucky to work with the Hunger Game. I was the one chosen to work with Berkeley Lab under Dr. Zhang Xia, which is the general chair of the ISC conference, which is the conference that give out the Turing Award and top 500 systems, all those kind of big stuff in the HPC area. So when I was born, these are my parents. I was a little baby. Then I went to this college, and so I had to prove the most difficult class in our computer engineering program. I was the first year computer engineering program in Hsinchu, Taiwan, where all the chips are made. I was required to prove this 5 coloring problem. But about like 40 years later, my first example learning the quantum annealing was the map coloring problem of the 10 regions in Canada. So it's kind of interesting. Anyway, there was a long story about this assignment. I got A+++, and it's kind of like inflection point of my life because this is the most difficult class and I kind of took it hard. And so I was acing the class. And so my university sent me as the representative to go to the IBM Taiwan to audition for this summer internship. And among all the national champions, I was selected to be the intern for summer of 1981. I was the human tape loading robot. I hated the job. And anyway, so IBM is kind of making me want to like not make sure that I'm not doing 9 to 5. It was 17th times of my scholarship. So they pay me very well. So this is my graduation. So can you find me? It's a 3 Idiots movie. Okay, so I'm right here. I'm the only girl here. Okay, so after I finished college and I came to United States, I had a chance to go to be your friend there in Washington, D.C. because I got a scholarship at the University of Maryland. If I have taken the electrical engineering scholarship, I would have been making the chips like my friend Shih Wang. I'll show you next. But I didn't. So I did computer engineering PhD directly. And then after I finished PhD, I didn't know what to do. So I go to university. So to open up Killing Dragon 101 class. My university is right by Johnson Space Center. It's called University of Houston Clear Lake campus. It's a 245 acres of wildlife preserve. So there's a bobcat right here, and that's the deers, and our mascot is the hawk. And this is the swallowtail I'm raising right now, and then it's the deer. At lunchtime, mommy come back to feed the baby. This is my building. We have a friend here visit me from quantum engineering at the Colorado School of Mines. And so we met at Quantum Week and he came to visit me and I'm kind of his mentor. Now he's working on a postmaster on quantum related stuff at Los Alamos starting just this month. So this is Space Center Houston. I welcome you to come visit. All right, so right now I'm trying to, besides what we're going to talk about today, I give one slide of preview. I'm working on bringing quantum AI together. And because I'm teaching this summer, I'm teaching quantum computing and artificial neural network. And somehow is kind of, I feel like the quantum annealing is the inverse of artificial neural network. If that is true, then I'm proposing the quantum machine teaching, where it's not a human in the loop like IBM does. So we're going to use quantum to enhance the machine learning. We're going to use quantum to enrich the data And then in quantum AI, we can do the generative AI because quantum annealing can sample and generate many examples. And then also other approach. And here we can probably find out the QPoland coefficient for the quantum annealing from AI training, because it's kind of hard. It's not, because it's that kind of like you give your student and kids a reason, and so they will do well. You cannot just tell your kid what you want them to do, because they are the inverter. They will do whatever you don't do, right? Don't want them to do. So coming up with QPoland coefficient for the qubit strength and qubit coupling strength is kind of tricky. So maybe AI ANN can use to help that. I'm also dreaming about quantum QuickPop, quantum Monte Carlo, and quantum error to enrich the data, quantum game theory. I think Warsaw has a quantum game theory talk, but I couldn't stay until like 3 a.m. So this kind of overview of what my experience is: quantum annealing, AI, HPC, FPGA, heterogeneous computing, big data, complex system. This picture in my profile picture, this is the IBM markup for the quantum computing. And in the middle here is in 2017, I had privileged to open up the Future Technology Conference in Vancouver, the global conference. After the two keynote speakers were John Martinez and Peter is from Rurik IBM. So IBM Quantum and then Google Quantum. And then my talk were two papers. I just realized there were 3 papers in quantum among hundreds of papers in the Future Technology Conference 2017. However, there are only 3 out of hundreds, and I had 2 of them. So that's why they put me the opening speaker. Luckily, Burnaby was only 7 miles away, so I had the privilege to visit Tom and Vice President for D-Wave and have a nice trip there. At that time, it's already 2000 Q. This 2017. 2013, D-Wave is only system 2 with 512 qubits, so it's already 4 times. Here is my team for the CyberShake project in Southern California earthquake. I think Helen probably familiar with Los Angeles area. This one is Oak Ridge National Lab in 2019. Summit was the fastest computer in the world. After the national, our White House priority in 2015 signed by Obama to take back our supercomputing leadership of the world after China being the fastest computer for many years. Then here is some of the projects I do in energy and space that I'll show you more next. So this is Peter at IBM, Rurik, Switzerland, and then this is John Martinez. This one is from Huawei and another education leader. John Martinez, about several months later, he proved the quantum supremacy using the 53-bit Google Sycamore. So today's talk, this slide is my main kind of idea board. This slide is talking about how I try to bridge the gap between the quantum optimization, so quantum AI, QA means quantum AI, or quantum annealing, quantum optimization, the missing link between quantum and high performance computing. So on the left here, there's a quantum computing, there's a quantum annealing. On the right here, you can see the picture, okay? So here, on the top here, I did some topology optimization on the Blue Waters cluster of NCSA, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. This is a frontier cluster that 2012. In June, I was there in Germany when my boss at Berkeley was the general chair, Dr. John Schaff, and he, so Frontier got the #1 first prize on the fastest computer, which is faster than the next 7 fastest computer combined together. Not only that, is the first exaflop, and I think now is going to be the 2 exaflops. Then over here, this is Delta cluster in NCSA, the new cluster with the biggest GPU installation in the country. And then this is Summit with me having this victory picture with it. This is me with the Fugaku, which is the second fastest computer in the world in Japan. The bottom picture here, I'm showing a particular way to do a traveling salesman's problem to sequence. It's kind of a permutation of instructions to optimize the like a heat ratio and access and energy and performance. Just using, you can use quantum to optimize it. I call it co-refactoring. So what I'm trying to do, the first focus is trying to match between the software and hardware. Okay, so as my boss, John Shelf at the Berkeley, he was the keynote speaker for ISC conference 2019. And then after the COVID 2022 and 2023, he's the general chair for the ISC conference in Germany. We are like going beyond Moore's law. And so to go beyond the Moore's law, he suggests 3 directions where we can cope with it. One direction is to design system with the material. So we cannot use silicon, so we're looking for other materials. So he was very happy that he worked for Berkeley Lab, because Berkeley Lab has put, I don't know, like 17 elements in the element table. So so material is right next to the national lab. So that one is easy to do. The second thing is hardware, software co-design. Okay. And then there's a third thing. So you have to kind of try to design it. So nowadays you study algorithm, and so you have to have algorithm and hardware co-design. Then hardware, software co-design, and material and algorithm and computation co-design. So all this becoming necessary. So it's good to have good math background and stuff. So my focus here is, if I have a software, let's say in a functional data flow graph on the left here, and then I have right here, I have a processor connected in certain topology. How can I assign a workload, partition this software to different threads for parallel workers? And then so that we have minimum delay and fast execution and fewer processor and all that, whatever is necessary to optimize the computation. By doing the topology well, I was able to speed up the fastest cybershare code of Southern California earthquake to generate the earthquake map for California 35% faster. And I'm hoping that I can work toward that. I can save everybody's computation 1/3 faster. Okay. So there are other problems we try to solve. HPCG is supercomputing, the slowest or most difficult, challenging benchmark. Like HPL is LIMPAC, so is an easy parallel. HPCG seems to be hard time. So for the Fugaku system, the second fastest computer, it can only do 16 petaflop out of 442 petaflop peak performance. For the Frontier, the fastest computer in the world, it can only do 0.8% out of...
Yes, I want to ask a question.
Hello?
Okay, yes, Dr. Shih, so Itamar would like to ask a question. Yes, if we can
Okay.
interrupt.
Well, I apologize for the noise. I'm outside, but I hope to hear, besides of the beautiful survey that is very detailed and very nice to hear, I like to hear specific challenges of HPC and how they are dealt with quantum computing.
Okay, great. Yeah, so the problem we have too is HPC and AI. Okay, the problem with HPCG is we spend the HPCG, like the Fugaku system, is $1 billion. Annual electricity is $40 million. Fugaku is the $1 billion machine, so they have hard time to go for the next system called Fugaku Next. Okay, so they're trying to design it, but how to go more expensive than 1 billion and $40 million. So for the Frontier is $600 million system, and both of them, most of the current system housed in about 2 tennis court size. And it's about $21 million electricity for Frontier. So Frontier also earned the top energy efficiency among top 500. So what we're talking about is you spend $1 billion, you get 3% peak performance when you run this HPC benchmark, which is conjugated gradient. When you use Frontier, you get you have 2 billion. You have 2 exaflop. Exaflop means 10 to the 18th floating point operations, but you can only get 0.8% peak performance. Okay, so you spend $100, you only get 80 cents. Okay, so that is really difficult. Here we have other things that I'm trying to do. This is high atomic number transform. That is for the space radiation. And these other machine learning, 3D Stoku, these different problems we try to solve. So what am I doing to improve 35%? Okay, so in my dissertation many decades ago, I developed the AT mapper system, which is the AI A-star search to try to do a heuristic to optimize the parallel resource allocation and scheduling. So like when you have a workflow, you try to partition to parallel processors. Tiger is using quantum annealing to try to do the processor assignment. So we're comparing both. For me, my approach, A-star was able to do 0.5 data hops in average, because 90% of time I can do 0 or 1 hop. So if I'm a task and I do a calculation, I get a result, and I continue the next calculation, then the 0 hop, because I'm not sending data to anybody. But if I'm getting too busy and I have to try to use a parallel resource, I will send to only my direct neighbor. So it's 1 hop. So average is 40% 0 hop, 50% 1 hop. So average is 90% of time is 0 or 1 hop. So I kind of count is a little bit less than 0.5 hop. And the state of the art is thousands of hops, millions of hops, but the Dragonfly typically can do 3 hops. Okay, so Dragonfly is, so this is a different HPC system we're studying on, and the different topology. So number 1, Frontier at Oak Ridge National Lab. Delta is the similar system. They are all by HPE. They are exact same Dragonfly and Slingshot configuration. At NCSA, Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, they are Dragonfly, typically 3 hop. Then they have dynamic scheduling traffic to optimize the reduce the latency in the supercomputing cluster. Then there's a Fugaku, which is the second number 2 system in the world at Riken Center at Japan, at Kobe. Blue Waters is the one. Fugaku is 60 tofu torus fusion. Blue Water is a 3D torus. Now, Texas Advanced Computing Center has a Frontera that is factory. So factory torus is Dragonfly are the most popular system nowadays. But I'm also focusing on a vector computer, because the vector computer, NEC, etc., can do 5% of the peak performance. So although it's about 20 petaflop, it can do 1 petaflop when they run HPCG. Okay. All right, so this is the Fugaku. So I visit so Dr. Satoshi is the director. So I was keynote speaker at Osaka. So luckily it's about half an hour away. So I was able to visit the center. Then they have a quantum HP hybrid. So this is a new hybrid system. So they are from Tokyo, so they came to visit us. And this is the model. And here is the earthquake and tsunami. So they have to put the system on the 5th floor. And they have to have 2 different kind of spring and also rubber drum to deflect the shaking of the earthquake. This is the 60 torus tofu or torus fusion because you got 6 coordinates, so it's called 60. So basically it's a 3D torus, but then added a ring in the middle. So the Fugaku system is designed by Fujitsu, and it's the only system that's this homogeneous system using ARM processor. They don't have GPU. Okay, so most system has CPU and GPU. Dr. Satoshi-san at a year ago at C22 was the CMO Cray Award for the supercomputing conference. So what we're trying to do, we try to optimize, we try to remove the latency, the hidden movement between the processor node that the user doesn't even know. Now, next few slides, I'm gonna demonstrate. I'm kind of uniquely, I'm the only one looking at the topology. So why is topology important? Why is that it's important to know where your job is placed? Okay, so this is the we run this code is space radiation code. Okay, so now space is getting popular. So our research from like 15, 20 years ago on space radiation flux calculation, and also the Mars radiation mapping becoming important. Here it shows that as you increase the number of cores, you decrease the runtime. Okay, so you use more worker, decrease the runtime. So that's kind of nature. However, you see that's kind of rising at some point, and it's like every 16 cores is 1 blade. So whenever you go from 16 to 17, it jump up because you have to communicate between different boards of blades. Okay, this is a Ranger cluster at Texas Advanced Computing Center. So that's important for you to know. Okay, maybe I don't want to do 17, I want to do 16. Okay, so here is something that you want to, if speed is of your concern, then you might want to look into that. Also, 16 is probably better than 17 because the supercomputer.
Excuse me, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand your talk. So, as far as I understood from your talk so far, is that you're trying to optimize the communication of the nodes of the HPC, or you're trying to also to look at the scaling, because when we ran large clusters, if we increase the number of nodes, sometimes we lose efficiency. Is what's to do with scaling. So what exactly that you're trying to do to solve? Is the parallelization or is the scaling as well?
Okay, so I'm taking the workflow and I'm trying to automatically partition it using AI and quantum to divide it into, let's say if you have 4 processors, so you divide it into 4 threads. So where do you cut, right? So if you have 11 tasks and you have 4 processors, every task is picking a processor. Who is gonna do this work, this task?
So it's a kind of MPI.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
MPI is message passage
assignment
interfacing.
Yeah, but I have 4 other ways. But what I'm saying is the first way. So I have quantum refactoring by ordering the code, and this one is, so I have 4 different ways to integrate quantum optimization and HPC. But this particular way is to partition the workflow to distribute to parallel processor. We call horizontal migration. And then we're going to schedule the task in the processor timeline. Make sense?
Yes, thanks.
Okay. All right. So we try to do is trying to do load imbalance. Okay, because you try to load balance means if you have like 1,000 processors, you want to make sure every processor do some work, then it's not efficient, right? So we want to try to use fewer number of processors and less communication, less data hops. Okay. All right. So in supercomputing a domain, NSF has the largest grant on the people network for using and promoting the supercomputer. So I'm the campus champion. So this is Zhang Tang. He's the PI for the XC grant, Extreme Science Engineering Computer Extreme Environment, which is now changed the name every 10 years. They change to Access. Okay, so you can apply for access allocation, and then you can start using all the supercomputing facility around the world. We also provide free trainings. So we have MPI, message passing interface training, big data, machine learning training. We also have open ACC, accelerator, GPU, FPGA training. Then we also have open MP training for multiprocessing with shared memory system. So this is the Tom Maiden. He's in Pittsburgh Supercomputing Center, Carnegie Mellon, and University of Pittsburgh. He's organizing all this training. So if you're interested in training, we can try to provide that. Among other campus champions, there are about 450 people right now, and about 260 different organizations like universities and research centers around the country. There's a campus champion in charge of promoting the supercomputing resource from NSF. I was lucky in 2012, 10 years ago, I was the nation's first fellow for this campus champion. So we were in Chicago. I was announced to be the fellow. This is running, we are in SCAGE, Southern California Earthquake Center. This director, Tom Jordan, and then this is the IT person that running field mechanic. And then there's a scientist from San Diego Supercomputing Center, Dr. Ethan Trey. He's the one that writing the code for the. So how did I make 35% faster? So in this extreme scale paper in 2013, so I wrote this paper with all this Central California Earthquake Center and San Diego Supercomputing Center people. So I asked the NCSA Blue Waters cluster to visualize the allocation. So what processor nodes are assigned when we submit the Cybershack job, okay? And then we look at the weak scaling and strong scaling. And then we'll realize we're trying to kind of make this line more straight. Okay, so what I did is I found fragmentation from the visualization. So then I studied the architecture of the Blue Waters cluster, and I found out XYZ direction, the Z direction has the highest bandwidth. So I try to make a loaf of bread. This is called prison shape, which is supposed to be matching the ground of California, kind of rectangular shape. And so the yellow part is where I pick the processor node that should run our code. By doing so, we were able to get okay, how do I get this? So we are able to get about 35% faster just by picking the particular allocation. Okay, so it says usually when we use GPU, we're trying to get about 10 cents of a dollar. We can get 10 times faster because this 10 times faster, we only need 10% of the energy. If we do GPU and CPU together, usually we get like 25 cents out of a dollar. Here, to run the earthquake map to the 10 Hz wave propagation and 4 different models, it will cost about $805,000 electricity to run a California map, which is required to give to the residents every 5 years. So if we can cut 1/3, it's $285,000. So when I was presenting 10 years ago, I was presenting my award for the fellowship, and this is the slides I make. So we use a Pawel and a Picno squib, so from Cray, to get these blue water clusters. So here is a picture of my Galapagos picture. Okay, so how did I do with my particular scheduling? So I used the static data flow graph scheduling. I wish I don't have dynamic yet. So Slingshot and HP take care of the dynamic one. So this won't work well if, like, you have to kind of mitigate it or convert it if you have conditional branch, or we don't know how many loops or iteration you have to run. So this is more for the static allocation. My approach is self-organized, low imbalance. So most of the other other people do is low balance. So later on, we'll do some experiment to demonstrate low imbalance is actually the trick. And topology, well, custom topology. So if you have an application, you can try to pick a particular shape. For example, in California, I picked the rectangular shape. It's latency adaptive, so we try to send to the closer processor instead of the far distance one. So we're working on job scheduling. The supercomputer is getting to be container, to be heterogeneous, and to be composable. So when you run a job now, they are allowing you to pick what coprocessor you want, what accelerator you want, what processor you want, what memory module you want. Okay, so that's called composable hardware. So you can compose your own server, and you can run on your own, and also you can compose your own environment or container, and then so it's becoming more important for you to understand what hardware can help, which hardware you should pick. So this is my CyberShake project. So I was trained in San Diego Supercomputing Center. I got awarded there. California is sending me all these thank you notes. California, with all your faults, we love you still. Okay. So here, this is a person that ran all the millions of scenarios for the earthquake. The CyberShake code was used at ACM Golden Bell Prize in 2017 by the Chinese team. They have the Sunway fastest computer in the world at 2017. They was able to achieve 10 hertz, which is tremendous because we are only running like half a hertz at the California Earthquake Center. So they are doing 10 hertz with the Tangshan earthquake, which is very close to heart because one of our sister campuses, university, just relocated from Tangshan to Xi'an right before the earthquake. So luckily they survived. So this is by Tsinghua University, not my university. I'm Jiao Tong University. So we kind of a rivalry there. Now, what is the challenging problem with supercomputer? Supercomputer is really getting to the very difficult situation, just like AI. Okay, so we think about AI. Okay, so every box is one exaflop, and then costs $4 million electricity. So everybody wanna do GPT, ChatGPT? No. So will be a million company doing that. Every company is spending $4 million electricity. We're gonna get very hot this summer. And this is 1998. Okay, the NEC earthquake earth simulator system was 4 football field. Okay, try to find that in Tokyo. So this is really, really difficult for the size of the data center, for the price, for the electricity, and for our environment. So it's really difficult. So my hope is NEC, because NEC vector engine is about a quarter of the GPU electricity usage, and as we discussed before, it's 5% at HPCG benchmark, which is better than all the other systems. Actually, 2015 it was 15% peak performance running HPCG with the previous system. So here I met the NEC team, their quantum annealing team here in Clear Lake area, also in when I was keynote speaker in Japan, they also came from Tokyo to see me, and also in Denver, and they invited me to the Bronx Palace Hotel. Here is when I was 2022 in the IC conference. This is our boss, John Shelf. This is the D-Wave people, and this is John Tang again, the head of the XCXS PI for the supercomputing people network. This is a Turing Award winner, so Dr. Jack Dangaret got $1 million, and he gave me his piano. So he was presenting about the frontier system is a billion, so is exaflop 10 to the 18, so it's 10 to the 9 times 10 to the 9. So he said he talked to the reporter, say this system is so fast, it's a billion operations. So when the newspaper come out, it says 2 billion. So he was not very happy. A billion times a billion, not a billion plus a billion. Okay, so I was lucky to be keynote speaker at the South Africa. So we're gonna try, I will be, this summer I'll be working with the Quantum Science Center and Quantum Computer Institute with Travis Umble, which is the director for both centers. So my student and I will be working with Travis. Last summer, I was working with Raphael. He's a global workflow, HPC workflow leader. Okay, so this is me at Oak Ridge National Lab. 10 years ago is the first time I happened to be in Denver, and I saw D-Wave's D-Wave 2 system presentation. I'm holding the whole wafer there. So that started the journey. So it's a adiabatic system. It's not quantum computing, it's a quantum optimization. It needs to require to be very low temperature so that you can keep the system cool and anneal. So the initial and the final. So this is the Hamiltonian, and then we have to, the input of the system is to put in the qubit strength and then the coupling strength, or what we call QPoland. It's quadratic constraint. The QPoland with the coefficient as the input, and the output will be the 10,000 different binary bit string of the decided state of the qubit. Okay, so this is the original D-Wave 2 system. Now D-Wave has go from the Chimera, the 2000, D-Wave 2000 and D-Wave 2, they are system 2, they are in the Chimera. And then the D-Wave Advantage system is in the Pegasus topology with 15-way. So this is like 6-way to 15-way. And then now is 20 ways by Zephyr is the Advantage 2 system. Now, according to Maritime, the system, now they are doing 1200 qubit instead of the 5000 qubit at the Advantage system. We run the Zephyr, the Advantage 2 system actually improved. So we run like Sudoku, just a regular Sudoku of 9 by 9. We are able to get correct answers. Previously, for the difficult, so they are easy, medium, and hard Sudoku. For the hard Sudoku, we were not able to get correct answers. But with the Advantage 2, we are able to get better results. So Maritime was correct that the qubit quality is probably better at the Advantage 2 system. However, the prototype, they are only giving 1200 qubit instead of 5000 qubit previously. So quantum annealing can solve traveling salesman's problem. Here is about John Ursher. He want to be PhD in MIT instead of playing football. So what kind of problem we are trying to solve is that sometimes for the TSP with 50 packages, for UPS, you have to go through 10 to the 58 years to explore all the 3 times 10 to the 64 power routes to decide what's the permutation of the 50 house sequence. 2015, 16, I was talking to D-Web people about how I'm going to apply my workflow optimization. I'm gonna try to make them like everybody's a customer, because originally at that time they're saying, oh, we're just small company with like $15 million. We're like solving 3 problems, you know, machine learning and sampling and combinatorics problems. So anyway, the whole D-Web team can visit my class in 2016. Okay, so this is the chip. This is a one group for the so that you can see that they use superconducting ring. So you have 4 horizontal ring and 4 vertical rings. So 8 of them is one group in the original D-Web system. All right, so here is the scalability. So it's instead of the Moore's law, every 18 months, the frequency and the density of the silicon chip doubles. Here is the Rose's law and also Navin's law, doubling exponential. So that's from Google that now everything is double exponential. Quite amazingly, similarly in AI, now NVIDIA is selling not just the baby machine learning system, they are selling the programmed, the learned system. It's like selling a PhD, you know, machine learning machine. So it's really amazing. It's like you can keep learning like a person grow, never die, you know, not like we are limited, but the AI can keep learning for thousands of years. I was the keynote speaker at India. Here, this is a slide I make. So we're comparing the HPC and the quantum. So a system might cost $15 million, mostly is gonna be the same refrigerator. And so I calculate about costing 47 cents per second for the system cost. It will produce 10,000 samples. So maybe alternative solutions or better solution and need to be further grouped. Okay, the chip is picowatts, so it's almost like $0. But if we just count the whole refrigerator, it's 25 kilowatts. It's $25,000, not $4 million or $40 million like supercomputer. If it's 5.3 cents per kilowatt, this is how much it costs a second. Okay. Now right now is 9 by 9 for the D-Wave system, so 81 square feet or 100 square feet. But because I asked them why, they say because they have to have 4 people in there to warm it up and whatever the repair or fixing it. If in the future it's more commercialized, then it probably need only 3 feet square. So that's 9 square feet. Also, the Indian have a nice trip there. This is the visit again. All right. So what kind of platform we use in the quantum? So we can use the qubit system, and then we have the strange work. So we are lucky to have their support to so our students access to our allocation for the strange work and qubit. So it provides us the AWS bracket. We can also use D-Wave Ocean and IBM Qiskit and these different platforms. So I teach class, so we do all kind of projects. This is December, when IBM announced their quantum computing, kind of modularized. So it's exciting to see. So Qubit is the hybrid platform for quantum AI. Now they are offering free access, so you might want to sign up and try it. So it's very easy to switch from GPU to GPU, and you can try run different system and even some quantum. And I think they appreciate you give feedback to them in their initial testing. Okay, so we also use strange work using the bracket by AWS. AWS also provides a system. Now, Texas A&M has 6 different clusters that you can use, and they provide a lot of free trainings and retreats and workshops. They even come to Clear Lake, across lake from me, by NASA, to do the training last August. And I was like very lucky. It's only 7 miles from them, and each of them like have to drive from like some people was like hundreds of miles, and they have to drive a couple hours. So they are providing composable hardware. Okay, so you have server pool, you have accelerator pool, memory pool, using the liquid fabric to put them together. So now it's kind of hard that how are you going to know which you want to use, right? It's hard for computer engineer already, but if you're a scientist, even harder. Okay, so this probably will be next thing I'm trying to do, the automation. We can also use quantum to optimize it. Okay, so that's the ASIS. They have 6 classes. ASIS is one of them. As you can see, there's a next silicon. There's a FPGA. There's so all this new different system. You have NVIDIA too. Okay, you have FPGA, so you can try all different kind of systems. It's really cool. All right, so this slide is talking about how you formulate the qubit. So basically, you have the qubit strength. It's kind of like your internal center of locus control, and then qubit coupling strength is kind of like your you have to have constraint with your pocketbook or your friends or whatever to make decisions. So this is it's required to run so it's a quadratic unconstrained binary optimization. So it's required as an input to the quantum annealer. Okay, so NEC actually 20 years ago, NEC was a leader. Actually, they make the first quantum bit, and also they say that they actually influenced D-Wave to pick quantum annealing over quantum computing as the focus. Right now, NEC has their own quantum annealers physical system, but they also able to do the vector annealing using their vector engine. Okay, so vector annealing vector engine is like 200 some watts, so it's a quarter of the energy requirement than the NVIDIA, and also it can simulate about 300,000 qubits, which D-Wave can only provide 5,000 or 1,200. But and the amazing thing is they are able to send information from any qubit equivalent to any other qubit. So it's almost like, for me, like in computer architecture, the ultimate is the data flow computer. So I think NEC might have a chance to be near the data flow computer. So we're trying to see if we can use NEC to solve our problem that is too small. The D-Wave is too small for us. We're gonna try that. Okay. But NEC themselves actually were able to use the quantum annealing to save 25% of their productivity, because they save 2 hours a day instead of 2 hours to plan for where to deliver all the hardware and where to send what kind of technician to assemble the parts. it took about 2 hours a day. So for 8 hours, it's like 25%. But now it's only 12 minutes. They are able to utilize their own result. Now, of course, it's also optimized, so it saves the environment also because you less traffic and all that. How would you like to have 2 hours more a day? Okay, so this is NEC vector annealing. We also try to do, the next is trying to pack the job into the cluster. So we are thinking to using beam packing for HPC allocation for individual submitted user job. Here is another possibility to apply the vehicle routing problem. This is a shuttle bus optimization problem. So you have 3 shuttle bus and they have to pick up 12 passengers. So it's kind of like 3 processors and you're going to try to run 12 tasks. And also there's a location, where is the closest one to pick up so that you can get everybody to the airport quickest. Okay, so this is, we can try to apply this in different scheduling to our, to make our AI optimization for the workflow using the one-shot quantum. Okay, so this is still the vehicle routing problem. Now, of course, they use paint shop and different optimization. My student did this, Mario. He just started working for Berkeley Lab after the internship, 2022 summer. This is the 3D Sudoku that my student make. We could only do 25 cube. This is 9 by 9. We can only do 25 cubes. So hopefully, if we use NEC vector, we can do a bigger one. Okay, so this is Mario on the right-hand side lower corner here, our undergraduate student. Here is the 2D Sudoku solver and the QPoland right here. On the right-hand side here, there's a 3D Sudoku solver. Here is the scaling of number of qubit required. Here is the success rate from the quantum annealing output. And for the 2D, actually harder to get correct answer. For the 3D, actually it's easier to get the correct answer. Maybe there's more clue on the 3 directions. So that's kind of surprising over there, but it's counterintuitive, but it's 3D is easier to solve. These are my other students doing bio-inspired design, evolutional design. So this one is using GPU acceleration. So this kind of problem that we are solving with AI and HPC. Other medical image problem that we're solving. Here, I designed a GPU accelerator for FDTD with OpenCL with AMD processor, AMD GPU. So the reason I use cellular automata is thinking, if in the future we use FPGA and other accelerator might have limited memory. So for the cellular automata, you only have to know the data in your neighbor grid point. Okay, so this way it might be easier. So instead of 1 equation, you divide it into 4 equations. Our result is a little bit different from the non-cellular automata approach. Maybe some expert here can help us. This one is more kind of, there's a ring ripple effect right here. That's our result, and that's the result before doing the cellular automata. Here is the quantum refactoring. So let's say you have out of order execution to get the in order result. So these are the different operations in computer. You try to organize in such a way that it will solve the so by doing so you can get 15-20% faster by reordering the execution. Okay, right, so we try to find the synergy between quantum annealing and HPC. This is Origination Lab, so this will be, I'll be working this summer. Okay. All right, so this I'll post when we're trying on different systems. So basically, in my AT mapper approach, this is the software, and I'm trying to partition it into multi-thread for the parallel system here. And they are connected in 9 different ways of similar 7 to 9 processors. After our allocation scheduling, the AT mapper scheduling, we were able to get 90% of the time is 0 or 1 hop, so low number hops. The 10% of the time will be 2 to 5, 6 hops. Okay, so as you can see, 50% of the time will be 1 hop, and 40% of the time will be 0 hops. Here, as you can see in this array structure of 8 processors, the right-hand side 4 processors are not being used because they are too far away. Now, we can do next is we can change the algorithm to start allocating from the middle one. So maybe the middle 4 will be the one that will be used. And for the tree, also the right branch is too far reach. It's not worthwhile to use it. Okay, so that's my describing my approach there. So we're comparing with the, I was working with Berkeley, so there's a national center, there's a National Energy Research Scientific Computing. So Dr. John Shelf, our boss, is also the director or CTO for the DOE Energy. And so here is talking about all this, the things that we need to, the things that we need in supercomputer. Oh, sorry. So application workflow and resource and platform, less movement, more better power consumption. So those are all the things that my design is answering all the questions. Okay, so this is on my dissertation. So if you have 11 tasks and trying to use 4 workers, every task has 4 choices, so is 4 million different ways to decide on the schedule. Now, can we use quantum or AI to decide which way is the best among the 4 million? So that's the problem we try to solve. 30 years later, Dr. Burko of Lawrence Berkeley actually have the exact example, I mean, almost 11 tasks and 4 processors in a ring, and then she's trying to do QPoland using quantum. That's why we work together in 2021, because 30 years apart, we are thinking the same. So this is the Tiger. That's her workflow. So using the hybrid, right? So among all these people in the Hunger Games, so I was the one picked, and then this is our boss John Shaw for this is at the Shih building. Shih is also one of our alumni at the Jiao Tong University. Okay, so this is Dr. Burko, and there's a beautiful view here. Dr. John Shaw and the guest house. And my room was right there. Okay, so this is when I first discussed this topic with Dr. Burko. So we're trying to compare. So this is my AT mapper. Okay, so we run all this quantum, and then we run the AT mapper, and we try to compare. This is the detailed AT mapper algorithm. We use partial order, and then we force it to the strict total order, and then we prioritize all the tasks from the most important to least important. Then every processor from most important will pick processors. So if I have 7 tasks, I still have to go through 7 different iterations of picking processors. And then all the new processor assignment have to pay attention to the previous allocation to try to avoid the the conflict of the resource. By doing so, this particular example is cutting into 2 threads. Of P3, we're doing the task N7 and N5, and the other one is done by P2. And of course, we have some kind of internal routing to see which one is the shortest one, how to pick so that we can minimize the data hubs. Well, by doing so, this is the result of that particular example of 11 tasks on 4 processors. In my ATmapper A-star search result, I use only 3 out of 4 processors. So this yellow one is graded out because we never assign it. Now over here, you can see all the same color. There's 0 hop from green to blue. There's 1 hop. The only thing is 2 hop is from red to green or blue to yellow. So we don't have this one. So only red to green has 2 hops. So this is the my result. This is Dr. Buckle's, I'm sorry, this one is D-Wave result. D-Wave also have a load balancing thread partitioning software. So we run D-Wave's result. This is what D-Wave gave us, okay? So again, there's a lot of hops there, but they are trying to do load balance. This one is a Berkeley result, so this Tiger result, okay? So, and then I put this in the table. Yeah, this one. We're also trying to work on the slum result. So we haven't gotten the slum result, but Tiger take 10 units of time. D-Wave also take 10 units of time. And my approach takes 7 units of time. The total internal hop, take up the traffic. So they are like 4 hops for my ATmapper and 12 hops for D-Wave and 7 hops for the Berkeley. All right, because I use only 3 processors, so efficiency is a little higher. The speed up is 1.1 to 1.6 using 3 processors or 4 processors. All right, I have other examples. These are the tree-to-tree mapping. This is the resulting schedule using 3 processors out of 7. This one using 2 processors out of 4. And so in our ATmapper, my student wrote a GUI, so you can actually display the input and output in graphic form. We can also input with number form. So these numbers are that, you know, you can input the graph using this, the H. Okay, so this example here is using 2 out of 4 processors. So there are the different examples that we run. So there's a comparison here. We compare the ultrasound application result. Okay, so this one total 26 hops using the Berkeley, and my approach use 8. So the efficiency speed up. The total execution time is 7 and 6. Here we run, you giving is 6 processors. Okay, so of course the load balance one try to use all 6 processors. So for us, we're still using 4. Even if we give it 6, it still use 4 out of 6. So this is compare some features of, like, for example, we are coarse grain, fine grain, low balance, low imbalance. So it's different design. There's a Berkeley design and my design. Okay, that's a reference to the poster. And that's our team, Dr. Burko, our student and now lecturer, and our summer student. Here are all the people that make all this happen, because I need all these people to connect me to get to collaborate with all these different national labs. So this is the Shih building at Berkeley. Okay, the rest of the picture is just like our NASA life, you know. So this director of NASA, I kind of collaborate. So I organize collaboration between NASA people and my university. I got recognized because I volunteer a lot at NASA. These are my students. We have different projects presenting at NASA, at the New York, the ultrasound conference. Here's a different project that we do. This is a self-aware robot. This is called alarm system. This image skeletonization. I was giving a talk at the medical center. Okay, so this is inspired design, cancer spreading, prostate ultrasound, breast cancer, brain cancer, all kind of. This is a separate conference for cancer. This is my students. This I organized NASA, and then I mentor some student team for global competition and summer IU. My student got best paper, best poster. This is a high school student I mentor. Now is a medical doctor. She went to MIT, get an engineering. Then she went to UT Southwest and become a physician now. This is when we go to the supercomputing conference. We get a lot of girls now, finally. Not like me, right? So these are like my girls in extreme scale computing class. One of my quantum class 2 summers ago, actually all girls, including TA. We try to do is maybe in the future we can help with quantum for protein structure prediction. And then this one is a materials science. So we'll do multi-scaling to try to decide how much nano fiber to put into the polymer. So now we can do all this annealing, all the evolution design in hours instead of thousands of years. We can try to search for the superconducting material for the superconducting center. Like one of these methods, the ultrasound for the prostate cancer diagnostic, also we have to, it's kind of very tricky. There are so many combinations, and then we have to try to see which way we can tune this filter so that we can see the red area is cancer, yellow area is precancer, and the green area is normal. To be able to do that, we have, for each of the combination, we have to do a data training. So it's almost impossible job, but with quantum, we might be able to work on that. Okay, so we have the space radiation, multiple drone collision avoidance using the virtual spring model. This is trying to extract oil and gas to get 60% more oil out of the carbonate rock. So we studied the porous space of the carbonate rock in West Texas. So we did a lot of projects. So when the D-Wave people came, astronaut take the whole crew here because they didn't have time to go to NASA. So our astronaut friend actually designed the Orion control panel. My student designed the 10 camera for the MMS EV system. So we get to, this is director and then the next director for the Johnson Space Center. So my student, these two are my student research assistant. They work for the NASA robotics group. So we get a test drive on the Mark moon crater and rock pile. So it was really cool. This is one of my students that contribute to the intuitive machine. So he designed all the also space shuttle. He's the one that do all the telecommunication between the mothership and the shuttle and the rover. So this is his own FPGA design. Now he just started his PhD at UH. This one is doing traveling salesman's problem with IBM Quantum. This student, he's the leader for, my student is the leader for the spacesuit design in our space program. Here I went to see the European, so this is Germany, the supercomputer for the environmental study. This is the butterfly I raised. Okay, the rest I'm just going to talk about my friend. So this is my high school girlfriend. So she's the head of the Department of Energy Office of Science. Dr. Khan is actually in charge of all 17 labs of $8+ billion budget. And so he just came to UH and visit. We haven't seen each other for 40 years. He was the keynote speaker at UH Energy Research Day just this year. This is my other high school girlfriend. So I would like you all to send a note to them if possible and say thank you because they work so hard. This is Teresa Mun. She's the one that invented the first wireless chip. So her contribution to each of us is every device she give us $10,000 off. Okay, so if she didn't make that company in 1998, we would have to pay $10,000 just for that wireless chip that we got for $10 now. So she got the SIG Mobile Outstanding Award, and she got the Alexander Bell Grant Medal for IEEE. This is 2005 when I visited her in California. And this is our other high school girlfriend. She's the head of the defense doing the anti-particle detection for the global space mission. So all this friend here she's the mother of EDA. So this is my roommate in college. She's the R&D director last 29 years for Cadence. So all the chip design, she sacrificed her eyesight. So she's retiring because her eyes is not taking it anymore. If I would have come to University of Maryland, I would be like my friend. She is the CEO for Richwave. She make RF chips for our Samsung phones. So she's my college girlfriend. All right. That's my family. My son here, he's a future energy analyst right now. My daughter is environment engineering, and they are getting the national champion in orchestra, and this is the world champion in robotics. AI is cool, right? That's my son. So this is Japan, some Japan picture. In India, this is in Denver. This is supercomputing vendor memory storage. Make the superhero picture for me. This is Denver. So this is Africa. All right, that's it. And then that's me. That's today. And then I'm making more AI slides, but that's for next talk. Okay, that's it.
Great.
Thank you so much for your time.
you.
And you have any question, I'll try
Great.
to answer it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shih. Thanks for this talk. I see from the comments in our chat that our participants enjoyed your talk. Yeah, so actually there are some questions on the chat. There's a question from Jervis about what's the difference between HPC and ordinal computer and HPC versus quantum computing. And he said that he's also interested in the training and is asking who should he contact to.
Okay, I guess high performance computing usually is the one that well, it's hard to say what, because high performance, super, those are relative terms, right? So it's really not you know, you can say whatever is high performance. But usually we're talking about today, high performance computing usually is you know, is a cluster computer. So I guess it used to be they are this vector processor is called supercomputer, and then there's a cluster computer. So the difference between vector computer are the ones that they have vector operation. So they can say array A plus array B. Vector is a one-dimensional array. So they can say array A plus array B, the result go to array C. So it's element-wise. So when you do vector computing, you only fetch one instruction applied to, let's say, 250 elements. So that's a much faster way. You know, you take one order for the whole bus of your passenger customer. So that's much faster. Okay. Now you have supercomputer, usually vector computer, has a few processors and use liquid cooling using the ECL technology, emit couple logic, which is running all the time. So it's like the hot current all the time. Okay. Now the supercomputing cluster nowadays, we are using the slow technology, using the CMOS technology. So it's sleeping all the time. It's only wake up when you are using it. Okay, so you use a bunch of slow devices connect to a big, a lot of processor together into a big cluster of the different topology shape. Okay, that's why it's important when you try to submit your job, you know where your job is allocated. You might be sending some data to the neighbor grid point, but if you get fragmented network, then you get a piece here, a piece there. And going from one subnetwork to the other subnetwork fragment, it will take millions of hops that you don't even know why it's so slow. Okay. So when I was doing my optimization at NCSA in July of 2013, we were lucky because the whole system was undergoing upgrade, so nobody else can run the job. So we were able to just do experiment with only one application of the Cybershape, the earthquake code. Now for the training, you can subscribe to, you can go to Access, and then you can just create account in Access, and then you'll be in the mailing list of all the Access training, ACCESS. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe you can lay.
A lot of training also, you can also go to Texas A&M High Performance Research Computing Center, and they right now they give a lot because they got $25 million grant to give to give training and get resource. So they have money and like they have a retreat to just take everybody to South Shore Harbor, and then to Corpus Christi for workshop or for a retreat. So it's really cool. So if you sign up for that, or if you connect with me, and I would, or connect with me on LinkedIn, and I would also, if you have any questions for the question.
Okay, great, thank you. So Jervis, that was the question. This was the answer to your question, which is great. We have several more questions, so I can see that Anne has raised a hand. So Anne, you can unmute and ask your question.
Thank you very much. And first, thank you, Dr. Shih, for your sharing your time with us with this presentation. You are certainly a superlative role model professionally. So thank you for that. Specifically, I wanted to ask about GPS global systems enhancement. Your work with regarding earthquake detection is incredible because, of course, that's all about the sooner the better. In terms, I'm always intrigued about the increasingly enhancing global GPS resynchronization timing, because as you know, those systems have to instantaneously resynchronize and update, and again, faster the better as we move forward. So I was wondering if your work is being applied at all in that scholarly vector. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I answered the question about the GPS. I'm not the expert of the GPS, but since we have a connection with the earthquake people and the NASA, the space people, because I believe they use the satellite, right? So I think also there's some delays they have to compensate, and there's a lot of rectification. So it's not easy. And as the application, when you some application is not so time critical, but some application is time critical. So there will be delay time, like in the future, we're gonna go to Mars, and the delay time gonna be even worse. Now, in some application, we're able to optimize, but some application we may not be able to optimize. It's just some kind of, you can almost have to kind of use the ChatGPT to predict, because you have to wait for, like, let's say, 20 minutes to get your answer, then you might have to ask GPT to finish your sentences. So similarly, you might have to use anticipation and prediction to cope with the timing problem. And for navigation, it's really difficult because we have projects like doing the all-head. So as you can see, when all the vehicle and when you fly airplane, when it's like by instrument, or when it's so fast that when you see the obstacle, you already hit it. That is hard to deal with. So it's gonna get really challenging, and sometimes that we have to rely on machine to help us in that situation. Okay, so yes, formulate the question and send to me, and I will be happy to to find answer for you or give you better answer. Now, as to the role model, that's why I would like you all to, like, when my friend that she make the wireless chip cut the code for the word. Of course, she did not. She's not those evil whatever big tech. She just tried to develop something, and then she helped all of us. So whenever in 9/11, whenever in COVID, whenever in the flood, emergency situation, when the last moment, I think about people were able to communicate because of all these wireless phones and devices. And I just feel like her contribution.
I agree. Thank you.
And then, so please tell her thank you, because she has a health scale because of so much stress. So we almost lost her. So I think, I appreciate you guys to say, thank you for all these people that make all this possible for all of us. Now, for ladies, I put a lot of girls example here, okay? So we Taiwanese are not just making chips, so we have a lot of contribution. Even I have a Yuan Kun Kuo, I don't know if you know her, she's in your neighborhood. When I was trying to learn the space radiation, she's helping me. She's the global person, leader in the sun technology, the sun, physics. So I learned from her. So I just had a visitor, Professor Ting Lin from Lubbock, from the Texas Tech University. She just visited me this weekend. She's going to study earthquake at Italy for this summer. So she came to Houston to get her visa. Now, she was telling me, as a civil engineer, when she was going to school, there was no ladies' room in the engineering building. Okay. So now I go to my restroom, I was just like, thank you. Yeah. So you can imagine what it's like, So so computer is not so bad, but I remember we have marine engineering, there's no ladies, and then we have mechanical engineering is also really hard. Okay. So but there's a lot of cool guys always come help us. So thank you, and thank all these people. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's connect it, and let's make it easier for everybody. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So there's another question from Jervis. So you can unmute yourself and ask.
Hello, Dr. Liwen. I'm Jervis. Thank you so much for your beautiful presentation and for your contribution to the humanity. I have a question about the future of AI in software engineering, as we noticed that with the development of ChatGPT, it's become more easier. Like, it seems like software engineering are gonna lose their jobs. So in this case, which way computer scientists can go in order to be competitive in the job markets? What technology they should learn, how they can adapt themselves in the new area of AI.
Okay, so that's such a beautiful question, because I heard that 40% of the code right now at GitHub is written by the AI. Okay, like ChatGPT. Even my son used that for his job at the Pilot J company. So, this is really hard. But I feel like nowadays, you know, first machine computer free us from hand calculation, right? So we used to have to do long division by hand, and then I had to learn abacus as a Chinese, you know, growing in Taiwan. But we don't have to do long division or abacus anymore, right? Because we just program the machine. But the new machine, the quantum computer, is freeing us from having to do all the tweaking. Okay, so in the past, it's also provided us some alternative answers. So in the past, the classical computer, we take a model and we put in all the input, and then we do the calculation, and we come out with the results, right? But the new quantum annealing and quantum computer, it kind of provide you set up the system, and then it will produce all these different samples, and there's many alternative answers to, you know, serve the same. There's so many different ways to roam, right? So that is actually more natural way, you know, more. But of course, the quantum AI, it's gonna pose challenges. Is that for whenever we get a smartphone, there are 50 technologies becoming obsolete, right? Also now we have ChatGPT. We have to learn how to make query, right? How to ask questions, right? The prompt. So so the same thing. The best thing to do is this double exponential growth is when you take the stone tool and you make a better stone tool. When you take a computer, you make better computer. When you take the computer, you make AI. When you take the AI, you make better AI. So this is double exponential is a compounding, right? All right. So I told my student there are two different type of life you can have. One is all your life you're gonna try to keep your head above water. Okay. Another life is you're going to serve and enjoy the technology. So you have these two different ways. So how are you going to do that? If you look at the wave coming at you, then that's very good. Because if you look at the wave coming at you, then you're going to jump on the wave and you're going to surf and then go to this tropical island, paradise. But if you're going to be the one that not looking at the wave, you're gonna constantly try to keep your head above water, and you'll be the best of Java programmer or whatever programmer. But then after a few years, everything changed. When you wake up, there's no more electrical engineering. That's all photon and stuff. Then what are you gonna do, right? Okay, so anticipation and research for computing is no longer an option. It's not a luxury. So I just think that we just have to do some research. Even if you keep, so let's say, for example, if you study this current system, and then tomorrow you see, oh, this system is going to be just like the previous system. Let's say Pentium system is 2 times 486, the Intel. Then you say, if you don't know what 486 was, it's 2 times, you don't know what it is. Okay. So therefore, you need to kind of keep up with the field and grow with the field, and constantly trying to think about solutions or trying to ask questions. And what's the difference between the one that trying to ask questions and the one that not asking the question is, tomorrow when you wake up and there's a new solution, and then people are gonna say, oh, why took so long? Because I've been wondering what this problem needs to be solved. And now it's about time. So you'll be the first one to embrace the change and adapt to it. And maybe even, you know, after the technology wildfire, you will find an ember and to like your own future glory, right? But if you are not looking at the future, then you're going to be shocked by every technology paradigm shift. And then you're going to be like having a stressful time to adapt yourself. Okay, so that is kind of hard. Now, as I say that when Dr. John Shelf was saying that, you know, when we go beyond Moore's law, we have these three directions we need to look into, right? Like design hardware with material, design hardware with the algorithm, and design the hardware software together. That means that you cannot be a one-trick pony, right? You have to know material and hardware. You have to know a little bit of software and hardware. You have to know a little bit of algorithm and hardware, right? To be able to cope with that. Okay. So I think that we were great. As I showed the beautiful mind slide, we will quickly adapt to it and like nothing at all. But it's very amazing as I anticipate this AI. If we take the learned AI and keep building on it, that it's just gonna be a very fast growth. It's gonna be a fast change. So we need to like fasten the seatbelt and look ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, does it answer you? It's I guess there's no perfect answer for that question.
No, I appreciate it. I like your answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for the
Thanks.
question.
Yeah, there are some further questions. So there is a question from David. How have you been able to continue your research at UHCL without PhD students?
Oh, it's very hard. Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah. So so for example, like last summer, I actually had 2 internship students for Oak Ridge National Lab. But I cannot get any student because my undergraduate student, they all have jobs. You know, computer student really easy to get jobs, right? So they will not take like one summer national lab job and then quit their like long going jobs, right? So it's kind of really hard. For my master's student, they are kind of also like a year and a half or 2 years, and then they will be moved on. So this is really hard. Yeah. So yeah, it's a little challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
we do get good student like Mario. He's now a computer system engineer at Berkeley Lab as an undergraduate student. So we are very proud of. We do have very good student. We also have some of the students you saw in the slide. They are much older students because when I got here to teach 35 years ago, my student average age is 32 years old because my university was upper level. There was no freshman, sophomore. So freshman, sophomore is like last 10 years we started to have in a lower level. Yeah, it's hard. That's why I like to connect with you all, and then you guys can implement all my ideas, and so I don't have to do it.
Okay, good. There's another question from Jordan. Is vector computer processing similar to vector search with graph knowledge used in generative AI applications?
It's different. Okay. So in machine learning, vector is usually, as I don't know if I understand your question. In machine learning, the vector usually is for unsupervised learning, and then you partition it into different groups, and the group center is called a vector. Okay.
Okay.
So in the supercomputing, the vector is a one-dimension array. So it's not 3D array, it's just 1D array.
Okay, good. Thanks. I think there was also a question from Aaron. Aaron, would you like to unmute and ask? I'm not sure if you had a question, but
I don't know
Okay.
why. Maybe we ran out of terms. So
I
like we
think
have
there's
same terms,
there's
same
maybe
terms,
just
but
one.
use different meaning.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have more questions?
Yeah, I
Can I
think
ask a
Aaron has
question
a
again,
question.
if it's okay?
Yes.
Yeah, just go back again to my earlier questions about scalability. You mentioned earlier that your work has helped to increase the efficiency by 35%. Yeah. So I was wondering, in terms of scalability, if you go from 6 cores, 6 processors to 100 to 1,000, or to a million processor, running a parallel job, whether the efficiency will stay linear as you show in the earlier graphic, or you start getting nonlinearity as you increase the number of processors. That's one question. The other thing is to do with the failure. I don't know how is this allocation of when you do partition, how you allocate your processes. So if you got a big job which is running for a long period of time, sometimes one core fail, and the whole work collapse. So I wonder if it's a kind of dynamic process of reallocation of the cores during the running of a job.
Okay, so that's a very good question. I'm glad that you're asking behind the hood, looking at the engine. So the for the Cybershake project, I improved the performance by time by 35%. The efficiency for the 4096 core, it go to from maybe 50% increase to like 80 some percent. Okay, so you are right. Usually in our Cybershake project that I was involved 10 years ago, we run about 10 million different scenarios for each site. We have 50 to 5,000 sites at the point of location that we have to run. Each location is 10 million. So to run each of these physics-based wave propagation code so many times, usually we have to use a workflow tool. They use the Pegasus workflow tool. Also, some of the person in charge is in USC, University of Southern California. So Pegasus is the workflow tool. So they have to use a workflow tool. So if there's some kind of a system crash or whatever, it will automatically take off where it's finished, so that you don't have to worry about restarting the job. Now, as to some node that has problem, I'm not quite sure. You might not know if some unless they have some kind of self-diagnosis running to kind of check the different nodes to realize if some nodes. So if you happen to run some code and there's some node with malfunction, you might get a wrong result that without knowing it. Now, if the system provides some kind of a self-diagnostic periodically, then they might be able to turn off those nodes. As to how the system place your job. Remember, we were trying to use the beam packing problem to optimize it. And then I also try to design custom shape of subtopology for each job. So the purpose is that so that as a user, when you get charged by the supercomputing time usage is by core hours. Okay, so if you use fewer cores and get faster result, like if you see my result, I use fewer processors. Sometimes I get faster result because they're all close together, or there's no hops or one hops, right? So this way you get fewer cores and shorter time. So the total charge from the supercomputing cost is lower for the user. Now for the center, when I do this right placement and then when I do this minimum traffic hops, of course, it reduces the congestion, right? So it won't get locked up or a deadlock or whatever. So the computing center also enjoy higher utilization and smoother traffic when everybody more content and smaller compact subnetwork. Okay, so that's my purpose, trying to do that. You know, we're using 20%, computing is using 20% of total energy consumption. That's before the AI chat GPT, okay? Now imagine millions of companies, each one want to duplicate the chat GPT. It's gonna be really terrible. So therefore, I'm working hard. I'm working on to see, and I hope some of you will work with me, that how we can find a better way to reduce the learning time and to speed up and to reduce the, to get the more, more efficient way to do machine learning. Okay, so that's important. Now, you were talking about that the supercomputing allocation. Typically, they use like a slum scheduler. So one entry that was blank that we are working on is the slum, SLURM. So the slum usually is the one that plays the job for you. Okay, so you will kind of take the whole cluster and then unthread it using the Hilbert curve and into a single line, a line of processors for you to pick. And then when it's time to allocate the process of your job, they will take a string of these processor workers to assign to your job. Okay, so that's how it works. And so we're gonna try to develop a better one and then see if we can compare to. So we find a slum simulator. We're learning how to use it, and then we're gonna try to run different scenario and see if our method is going to be better than the slum, and then hopefully we can add a library into the slum, so that to benefit the users and centers and to benefit our energy sustainability.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank
see
you.
there's-
Thank you for answer.
Yeah, there's one more question from Carla. Is there a relationship between spin dynamics and quantum computing research in your work on or collaborators? I'm a physicist in condensed matter and molecular dynamics, looking into expanding a bit into quantum computing.
Yes, well, you have the spin model. It's just I think you put like +1 -1 instead of 0 and 1, so they're just a conversion of it. And so yeah, there's a lot of possibility because I'm gonna start working with Quantum Science Center. I mostly do quantum annealing myself because I am kind of I've been working 35 years, and I kind of feel like quantum annealing is now, and quantum computing is kind of like tomorrow, and I may not have tomorrow. So, but then now, Harvard Health Science was doing like anti-aging things. So maybe we have to learn quantum computing also. Now, I will be working with Quantum Science Center and Quantum Computer Institute this summer with the #1, Travis Umbo. He's also the chief editor for ACM Transaction on quantum computing. So I think I will learn a lot there. So I can connect you with some people. If you formulate your question and message me on LinkedIn or email, then I can try to find the appropriate person. Yeah. Because for example, I'm adopting a couple of more high school students from my UTD Dallas talk. And they are like, oh, I want to do quantum dot for fuel cell. I want to do this. And I'm not expert on all of those, I just know computer, that's it. So anyway, I'm learning, but I feel like this topology focus that I'm doing, which is not done, and but I can apply it to even the quantum network placement, okay? And also in the future, topological quantum computing, if I learn that, probably I can also contribute. So there are a lot of topology, right? And I can also, you know, the qubit network and the neural network, also those are topology that I can try to prune the network and then reduce training time and contribute to a faster learning.
That's
Okay,
great. Thank you so much. If there's an email that we can contact you towards, that would be very helpful. I don't use Facebook or any of those things. It's just so much information overload. But if there's a specific email that I can contact you to work.
It's on my slide, but I'm sending to you, everybody here.
Got it. Thank you so much. Bye.
Awesome. Yeah.
okay. There's another question from Jervis. What is the difference between quantum annealing and quantum computing?
Okay, so quantum computing is trying to do the quantum gate. So it's a universal quantum computing. Right now there's a big issue because you would take, for every quantum bit, you would take maybe 1 to a million or 5 to a million qubit to correct. We probably will get better quantum bit, like for example, when John Martinez in 2017, when he spoke before me, you can look it up. The recording is on YouTube. He was stressing so much importance in the good quality of the Sycamore quantum qubit design. And he was, and then what I'm trying to say is, right now we have big issue because if your error is more than 50%, then you cannot trust your result, right? So there's a big problem. But I'm thinking maybe we can use the quantum error for something good, right? Because for machine learning, error is good. Noise is good, right? Because if I take a chair or a glass coffee cup, I paint it that zebra color. And I ask you, is this a coffee cup of zebra, right? So I add noise to it. And you can tell me that, oh, it's still a coffee cup. It just painted zebra color. Then you are the good machine learner, right? Okay. So noise is so important, and perturb the data and augment the data. So there's a lot of things that the error is sometimes a blessing. But anyway, I'm kind of more inclined to not to, I'm trying to work with the nature, try to work against the nature. Most people are trying to correct errors. Like what I do is I try to do the self-organizing load imbalance, but most people is doing load balance in HPC. Nobody is doing load imbalance, only crazy people like me, right? So, so yes, yeah. So I think the for the quantum annealing is just one function. It does is you set up the environment and you let it anneal. Then you try to arrive in the lowest energy space. In that the lowest energy is modeled to do the optimization. So you minimize the cost, the bad, and you try to optimize the good, right? So minimization, you minimize the work, you minimize the time, you minimize the electricity, you optimize your profit, you optimize your happiness, you optimize your performance. So these are the only thing it can do is. So D-Wave kind of got criticized as calling it quantum computing, but they need to call it quantum computing because of the kind of like getting funding and stuff. However, traditionally we are so ingrained with the Turing machine that we're thinking, okay, it's general purpose computer, we must do this and this. Okay, so quantum computing is the gate, quantum gate, universal computing. Quantum annealing is just optimization. So now they are working well in the logistic and different things. For example, in a Canadian banking, they have large transaction sequencing. Basically, a traveling salesman's problem just to sequence 75 deposit and withdrawals. Now, they try to do is minimize the collateral they have to sell for overdraft. So basically, they're just trying to deposit before you withdraw so that you don't have to sell something to make up the differences. By doing so, every day, they say they have 75 transactions to order to do the permutation. So if they optimize it, they can save $500 million, which is $500 million. Now, how much does it cost to use D-Wave's cloud? You run it 200 times, and each time is, they say, $5 or $20. So it's at $4,000. $4,000 cost, you make $500 million. So that is a really good, situation for the NEC. They save 2 hours out of 8 hours. I would love that, right? So every day. So the quantum annealing is already there. Now people will say, "Oh, that's not quantum. That's not, that's not whatever." But only when you're a physicist, or computer engineer, we try to solve problems. So even if it's magnetism, even if it's the switches, even whatever, even if it's a piece of potato, a glass of water for analog system, as long as you can solve problem, cheap and quick and good result, we welcome it. Okay, I'm not so critical about what exactly is quantum phenomena. I'm not, I don't have that. Like, for example, Einstein don't like quantum, right? And all these classical physicists, they hate quantum, right? Because they are overtrained. Their brain cannot really adjust to modern things. It's hurt your brain, right? When you are so good at something. But I don't have that problem, right? I'm not Einstein. So I feel like quantum is more natural than classical mechanics, right? So when I'm running, where is my arm goes? I go forward and backwards, right? So when I'm in a cloud, where is the position of these clouds? Because it's the distribution of the mass. So it's very natural for me.
All right. Thanks for the answer. There's a question from David. Are you going to try Q-era neutral atom quantum computers?
I'm not sure what that is yet. So educate me. Yeah, because okay.
Yeah, this is another approach to build quantum computers based on neutral atoms. So
okay.
All right. Do we have more questions? Dr. Shih? Last chance to ask. All right, I don't see more questions on our chat. So Dr. Shih, thank you once again first of all, for the great presentation and for answering all the questions. We would also like to thank our participants for the discussion, for asking the questions. And we hope to see all of you next time in May. There will be the next meetups. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much. Yeah, connect me on LinkedIn. Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.